Hey, beautiful ones. Um, Hello to those of you that are new to me and my channel, and hi to those of you that know me already. My name is Katharinekinnie. I am the creator, founder, originator of cosmic numerology, which is a brand new type of numerology based on Pythagorean numerology. And I've been active online for quite a while, for many, many years. I have a pretty engaged and active following on Facebook, but I'm just starting to dip my toe back into the YouTube world. And I used to share a lot of Facebook Lives and videos on Facebook. And then I had a little bit of a rest. And I've started to host monthly forecast videos through YouTube Live. But I was just watching a video earlier, I think it was on YouTube or Facebook, by someone who is probably a fairly well-known, I don't know whether you'd call them an influencer. I don't want to necessarily mention them by name. But in the kind of spiritual conscious space, they connect with galactic federations and things like that. But when I was watching it, and I don't tend to watch that much these days, but when I was watching it, it just prompted me to want to kind of respond, not directly to that person, but through my channel. And this is something that, I've been thinking about for a while, but it's the first time that I've felt inspired to kind of jump on in a really, really, really long time, other than a class or some kind of live transmission that I've organized or orchestrated. So here I am. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for this video. I just feel that I just need to show up and share some information, especially connected to the one. So you'll probably see by the title of this live and this video, I've entitled it The One Frequency: Sovereignty, Self-Responsibility, Way Showing, Guiding, Source, Oneness, and Unity. So there are a lot of themes that are connected to the number one. I taught a whole Zoom class on this at the beginning of the year, which the recording is available for any of you that want to watch it. And I taught about and spoke about the full spectrum of the themes that I connect with the number one that are going to be playing out throughout 2026, which is a one universal year. 2 + 0 + 2 + 6 = 10. 1 + 0 = 1. So that's how we calculate a universal year. And based on Pythagorean numerology, that is the number of the universal year that we are experiencing here on planet Earth and, potentially through the universe and the cosmos. And the themes that are connected to the one, and this is a brand new 9-year cycle as well. The themes that are connected to the one are going to be playing out throughout this year to give us an opportunity to come into a higher level of mastery of the embodiment of them. The last time that we had a one universal year was 2017. So the next time a one universal year will come around will be in 9 years' time. Pythagoras, who is my main guide in relation to numerology and cosmic numerology, he tells me, and he has told me, that the foundations of the new earth, or our new earth reality, are anchored in the foundations of the one and the themes of the one. So the foundations of the new earth are built upon the themes of the one. He also tells me that the seeds that we plant in a one universal year, it's true for our one personal years as well, for anyone watching who's in a one personal year, but the seeds that we plant in a one universal year pave the way for the next 9 years. So it's really important that we're conscious of the seeds that we're planting, the things that we're initiating, the ideas that are coming through, that we are becoming aware of, especially in relation to the new earth, in relation to the co-creation of heaven and earth. Because the one is also associated with ideas and initiation and birthing things and starting things. For those of you that know and follow numerology, you will also know that last year was a 9 universal year. And the themes of the 9 universal year from last year are going to be overlapping with the themes of this one universal year for the first 6 months of this year, all the way through until the end of June. And this, I believe, is one of the reasons why, there's still quite a lot of death and destruction and endings and closure and completion and things being brought to the surface from the past for us to kind of look at and observe and bear witness to. And for us to kind of like rebirth from. Like when the 1 and the 9 come together, it's a bit of a kind of phoenix from the flames kind of energy and frequency and experience. And so, there's a lot of people that talk about like new earth and old earth and new ways and old ways, and the patriarchy and things like that. I don't tend to use those words so much. I tend to just talk about the numbers and the themes of the numbers. But the 1 is new and the 9 is the past. And so I really feel like as we're continuing to journey through the first half of this year, we're really being given an opportunity to kind of let go of what no longer serves us, let go of things from the past that we might have been holding on to or hanging on to, allowing things to kind of die and fall away. But also we're being given more and more opportunities to practice compassionate humanitarianism, which is connected to the 9. And the sun has just moved into Pisces based on True Lifetime Sky astrology. And the themes of compassion and empathy are connected to Pisces as well, which is interesting. So that's playing out astrologically at the moment. But the 9 is very much associated with kindness, compassion, empathy, philanthropy, altruism, selfless service, unconditional love, and the remembrance that we are part of one big human family. And really, it doesn't matter what body we're in or what we look like or what we sound like or where we're from or where we were born. We are part of one big human family. And the 9 also extends to the non-human beings that we're sharing our earthly experience with. So all creatures great and small. And the 9 also, kind of connects us in with nature. So those are some of the themes that are kind of overlapping with the 1. And the 9 is also quite an Aquarian energy in that it connects us more with all. It connects us into community, but it connects us into those that are, kind of really outside of us. And then the 1 is the complete opposite. In 3D reality, the 1 is more about self, and the individual and our individuality, whereas the 9 is more about the collective. And so these themes are overlapping at the moment. The 1 is stronger. The 1 is much stronger at the moment, because we are in this 2026 one universal year. But the 9 is still overlapping so that we can continue to have opportunities to embody a higher level of mastery of the 9 as we journey towards the end of June. And then as we move into the beginning of July, we're going to be starting to experience the 11 energies of 2027, because 2027 is going to be an 11 universal year. And again, they'll still be overlapping with the 1. And this is where I feel like the whole disclosure thing, and the acknowledgement, because the 11 is the first master number that takes us off Earth. It takes us beyond physical 3D reality. So numbers 1 to 9 for me are all about our physical 3D mortal human experience here on Earth. And the 9 is kind of the bridge from the mortal up into the master numbers, the 11, the 22, the 33, etc. And the 11 is the portal from the mortal to the master. And so I feel like as we're journeying through 2026, we're journeying towards the end of June, the beginning of July, and then we'll be journeying through the back end of this year towards 2027. I feel like as a collective, more and more and more of us are being prepared for the frequencies of the 11, because the 9 is here to remind us that we're all one big human family and to practice unconditional love of all humans, all creatures great and small, and nature. The 11 starts to open us up to non-human beings and non-human intelligence that exist throughout the cosmos, beyond Earth, beyond our physical 3D reality on Earth, and beyond being human. So there are many of us that are awake and are aware, that have had our awakening and have remembered that we are not human. We are human beings, and we are infinite eternal souls having a seemingly limited physical 3D human experience in a physical 3D human body here on Earth. But there are some people that still haven't remembered that. And, I was one of those people I probably knew it when I was little, but as soon as my egoic conscious mind started to come online, and because of, the experience that I had when I was little, my understanding up until about the age of 31 was quite limited. I feel like my soul was aware that there was more happening, but my conscious egoic mind thought that things were limited to this physical 3D body and, life on Earth. Since the awakening that I had at the end of 2012, I have remembered that I am an infinite eternal soul having a seemingly limited physical 3D human experience here on Earth. And also the time that I've spent with many original Indigenous elders, whether it's in ceremony or just, sitting with them. I have the remembrance. Also, my belief is that we are all star seeds. So I know that there are lots of people that have different views and opinions and beliefs on this, but my understanding is that we are all cosmic, divine, multidimensional, interdimensional beings having a human experience, but that we are all star seeds, so to speak, and that we all have very specific purposes and reasons for being here on Earth. I believe that many of us have incarnated here before on Earth. Some of us might not have been to Earth in a while. And many of us have had many incarnations as non-human beings, multidimensionally, galactically, intergalactically. And many of us hold multidimensional, interdimensional, galactic, intergalactic knowledge and wisdom. And while there are many people on Earth that are connected to galactic federations and councils and, non-human beings like the Pleiadians and the Lyrans and the Syrians and etc., the Andromedans, and, part of the purpose of cosmic numerology is to kind of connect us in with our cosmic starseed heritage, origins, ancestry. I believe that all of us that are here have cosmic, multidimensional starseed heritage, origins, and ancestry. And we have come here to have a physical 3D experience. And some of us, many of us, not all of us, are here to embody that cosmic knowledge and wisdom, and to bring it here to Earth to remind us all that we're not human, we're having a human experience, and not to honor the human 3D experience, but to not be too limited by it from a multidimensional perspective. And for that, I connect that consciousness and that level of mastery with the master numbers. So 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. And whilst the 9, for example, is unconditional love of all humans, all creatures great and small, and all of nature and planet Earth, here on Earth in 3D reality, the 99 is unconditional love of all beings across all time, space, and dimensions, and all matter, so to speak. It's a very, very high level of mastery. I haven't met many humans that are embodying that. But Richard Branson, for example, I give him as an example when I'm teaching about the 99. He's a 99 personality, and the personality number in our blueprint, we have 5 major numbers in our blueprint, is connected to the consonants in our name. Anyway, we're here for the 1 today. And I guess the essence of what I wanted to talk about and mention and share in this transmission is the importance of embodying the 1 and remembering the themes of the 1 in this 1 universal year, 2026, because they're strong. They're going to be really, really strong this year. What's also interesting is we are in March right now, and March is a 4 universal month. The way we calculate the universal month, we take the number of the month, so we're in the 3rd month, and then we add it to the universal year, which is a 1. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So March is a 4 universal month. We're just approaching the halfway mark of March. We're going to be moving towards, well, we have been moving towards April, but we're going to be, so the 3 energies of February are going to have been overlapping with the 4 energies of March for the first 2 weeks. When we get to the middle of the March, which will be around the 16th, then the 5 energies of April will start to come in and will start to come through and overlap with the 4. And the 5 is change and transformation and spontaneity and expecting the unexpected. It's a curveball frequency. It's a bit Aquarian. It's a bit Mercurial. It's a bit Sagittarian. It's also associated with expansion. So it's associated with Jupiter from an astrological perspective. And it can be associated with like travel and adventure as well. But the purposes of, I guess, this transmission, and this is how I always used to do lives. It was like I would feel inspired or guided to share something. I would just jump on the live. There'd be no prep. I would just show up, be a channel or transmit and reflect whatever I felt to, and then I'd jump off, and that would be it. There would be no premeditation, no planning, no thinking, nothing, just showing up and sharing. So we're in this 1 universal year of 2026, and we're in this 4 universal month. And one of the themes of the 4 is embodiment. And I feel that even some people in the spiritual space, the conscious space, or community that are way showers or guides are still in a lot of separation when it comes to teachings, shall we say, or the information that they're sharing. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we've come here to have a dualistic experience. That is one of the purposes of Source separating into a soul and then choosing to inhabit a physical human flesh suit body and have a 3D human experience here on Earth. Duality is connected to the 2. And really, like, the 2 is when the oneness that is separate starts to acknowledge itself in another, so to speak. And the 2 represents that here on earth, and the 11 represents that across time and space. And the 11 is also like, it's an illuminated or an illumined frequency, and it's also a mirror frequency. So any of us that are vibrating at the consciousness of the master number 11, we are aware that everything is a mirror, so to speak. And that goes back to one of the Hermetic principles, which is kind of like as above, so below. And it's the whole so within, as without adage. So, and I think, the other thing I really want to mention, talk about is, there are a lot of people that are getting caught up in or triggered by stuff that's happening on the planet at the moment, especially in relation to wars, fighting, aggression, things like that. All of that I associate with the 8 frequency. The shadow of the 8 is misuse of our energy to control or manipulate others. The same with money or positions of power. And, the shadow of the 8 can be associated with the patriarchy. It can be associated with government, the law, things like that. There's nothing wrong with that, but those are the shadow aspects and the shadow elements of the 8. The light of the 8 is more around, especially when it comes together with the 1, is about empowerment and about how we consciously use our energy or how we consciously use our money or our positions to empower others or to govern or to lead, or to way, show, or guide. And, a really high level of mastery of the 8 is energy mastery, for example. And this is where, you're kind of in the echelons of kind of like, chi masters and things like that. I would say a lot of us on Earth have not yet fully mastered the 8 from a conscious perspective. And, when people are aggressive to others, when people are physically, mentally, verbally abusive or aggressive to others, they just haven't got a full handle on the 8 and their energy. They haven't yet mastered how to channel a strong energy or a strong feeling without projecting it onto others or without being aggressive or abusive. And again, we're seeing this in war and the wars that are happening at the moment. It's very unfortunate. Those of us that are highly sensitive, we find it very difficult to bear witness to that. I would say the other thing that is connected to the 11, so the 11 is connected to technology, and it's a remote viewing frequency, but also because of the internet and because of technology and software and devices, we have the ability to remote view things, and we have the ability to connect with one another through technology across time and space. And I can see that, there are some of you watching this live right now. Hi to anyone who's watching this live. But and I don't know where you're watching from. If you do feel to say hi or comment or let me know where you're watching from, feel free, but you don't have to. It's one of the things I love about this this technology and these platforms. But it also means that in a way that we wouldn't have been able to before the internet existed, and definitely before newspapers and the media, we're aware of things that are going on really, really far away from where we live, which, in some ways is a good thing because we can send our love, we can send money, we can send physical help and support. But also it can create distress. especially for those of us that are highly sensitive, for those of us that get upset about these things. And for a long time, many years, um, I would get very, very, very upset about war and weapons and misuse of energy to hurt others or kill others. So hi there. Um, so, and I've done a lot of work on myself to compartmentalize that, if that makes sense. It's not to say that I'm not bothered by the fact that, war is happening, but I've done a lot of work on myself, especially in relation to the one, to focus more on myself, but also my immediate physical 3D reality and navigating that before giving my energy outwards or to anyone else or anything or anywhere else, if that makes sense. And I'm still doing a lot of work on myself in relation to that. I think the other thing that is important is the shadow of the 2 and the 11 2 especially is enmeshment, and it is quite easy to get enmeshed in other people or other countries or other places and spaces, and especially in relation to the things that trigger us. And I feel when that happens, it's actually a good opportunity to come back to ourself in relation to the one and tune into like why that's triggered us, why we're upset by that. And then in relation to the 4, is there any action that we can take to kind of affect that situation? And these are kind of Buddhist principles as well. And if there isn't, to kind of let it go, to do our best to let it go. But I think the other really important thing that I really wanted to mention in this transmission is not getting too distracted or sucked into duality, if that makes sense. And obviously, like I said, we're here to have a dualistic experience. We're here to experience up, down, left, right, off, on, light, dark, etc. But I believe that definitely the higher levels of mastery, like the 11 and the 22, are more about how to practice equanimity. Any of you that have done a Vipassana retreat, you'll know what equanimity is and to remain equanimous. And it really is about not craving anything and not being in resistance to anything. It is about doing our best to remain equanimous, to remain centered, and to bear witness to everything that is happening, I guess. And, the caveat that I would put on that is whilst maintaining and moving in the directions of our intentions and the reality that we wish to create and co-create. I know that I'm here to co-create heaven on earth. I'm here to embody as much equanimity and peace as is humanly possible, whilst honoring my human experience in every moment. So if we come back to the one, and again, the themes of the one that I've focused on for this transmission: sovereignty, self-responsibility, way showing, guiding, source, oneness, and unity. There's a lot of people that are still talking about them and us and they in relation to the powers that be, or people that are doing bad things, or Trump, or people that are creating wars or partaking in wars or violence, etc. And whilst from a 3D perspective, the one is about individuality. And so, the one would say, I'm me, I'm Catherine, you're you, we're all separate. We're all having a separate human experience. And sovereignty is our birthright. We're all separate. But the other theme that is connected to the one that actually takes us back to all of our true origins, every single being, every single soul, across all time, space, and dimensions, we all share one singular origin, and that is source. Some people call it God, some people call it unity consciousness or universal intelligence, some people call it oneness. And it is the energy and the intelligence that exists in all things, everyone, everywhere, all at once. It exists in all of matter. Matter is made up of source intelligence, source consciousness. And when we're able to get beyond the physical 3D reality and we're able to tap into source intelligence, unity consciousness, God, oneness, whatever you want to call it, we remember that it is in everything, everyone, and all of matter. And then we remember that everything is connected and everything comes from the same place and is made of the same thing or energy, which is source. And so that is when, for me, it helps me to remember that we have all come from the same place. We are all made of the same stuff. And it helps us experience life on earth. I don't want to say beyond duality, but it helps us connect back into our true divine origin, which is source. So that's where, separation, duality, that's the two. And I feel like there is an amazing opportunity for many of us this year, for those of us that are here and ready for it and up for it. And those of you that are watching, I would say you're included. Hi to those watching live, hi to those watching the recording of this. So many of us, have an amazing opportunity to be embodying this source consciousness, unity consciousness, which goes beyond planet Earth and beyond humanity and beyond all creatures great and small. It's a cosmic concept. But we also have the opportunity to talk about it and speak about it. And I haven't really been talking about this that much outside of classes or courses that I teach. And yeah, just watching this video by this other lady this morning, it inspired me and it triggered me to want to speak this into existence, to give words to this, to speak this, into the field, to share it here on earth, to share it on YouTube for anyone that, is watching and wants to watch and feels to watch, for that remembrance. Because it's very easy to go into separation and point fingers and blame others and get angry and annoyed and frustrated at others. And sometimes it's important because it triggers us into making a new choice or making a new decision or standing up for something or representing something or speaking our truth about something, which is what I'm doing right now. But the one invites us to come back to ourself. And especially in a 4-month, when the 4 is present, it's like, how can we embody this frequency? And how can we embody our sovereignty and take responsibility for our life and what we're creating and co-creating and what seeds we're planting and what timelines we're seeding? And how can we be a way shower and a guide to others to embody that source intelligence, that oneness frequency, that unity consciousness frequency? Again, to just be, the walking embodiment of it. And from 100 Monkeys perspective, the more and more and more of us that embody that, the more we will reflect that to others, the more we will inspire others, the more we will activate that remembrance in others, because we just haven't got to a point where all 8 billion of us have remembered it yet. So a question, let's just see. Do you know how to make these frequencies possible, like 432 hertz? Great question. So 432 hertz is a frequency that exists. There are many different frequencies that exist. So the 432 hertz exists. It's just a case of kind of like tapping into it. So the 432 hertz, I'm sure many of you watching would know this, is acknowledged to be the vibrational frequency of nature and of planet Earth. It's our natural frequency. And when you add the 4, the 3, and the 2 together, it creates a 9. And again, the 9 numerologically is a frequency of nature. So, I guess God or Source made the 432 hertz, so to speak. And for anyone that ever wants to connect with the 432 hertz, just be in nature, anything that is natural. And this is why forest bathing, grounding, walking barefoot, sitting on the earth, lying on the earth can be very, very helpful and supportive for those of us that are wanting to connect in with the 432 hertz frequency. But it's about tuning into it, so to speak. It's not about like making it or creating it. And I'm a singer and I'm a musician. I play ukulele and I have an app on my phone, a 432 hertz app. And I always sing and I always play music in 432 hertz because a lot of music on the planet apparently is tuned to 440 for whatever reason. We don't even need to get into the story. But I have a tuner on my phone and an app whereby whenever I pick up my ukulele, I always make sure that the note A is tuned to 432 hertz. So I hope that answers your question. That's a great question. So I feel like in essence, this is the essence. Oh, that's okay. My pleasure. Thanks for the question. This is the essence of what I wanted to speak about and share about in this live. And I'm a one heart's desire and soul's urge. So we have 5 major numbers in our blueprint. Our heart's desire and soul's urge is calculated from all the vowels in our name. So we look at all of the vowels, we give them a number using the Pythagorean numerological system, and then we add all of those numbers together that are connected to our vowels, and that gives us our heart's desire and soul's urge. So based on my full birth name, I'm a 1, heart's desire and soul's urge, and the 1 is very important to me at a soul level. From a cosmic numerological perspective, I also connect the 1 with Polaris. Polaris is the North Star. It is the star that explorers in the past used to circumnavigate the planet. For me and my higher self and the beings that I connect with that are off Earth, they say that the North Star or Polaris is a navigational star for finding Earth in the cosmos when people are traveling here, whether it's in their Merkaba or their Merkaba, their light body vehicle, or whether they're in like a UFO or a UAP or whatever. It's apparently it's an easy way to find Earth when you're traveling towards Earth throughout the cosmos from a navigational perspective. And again, from an as above, so below, The North Star was, or Polaris, was the star that explorers in the past used to circumnavigate the globe. For me, the one is, it's about how we connect in with our inner navigational system, our inner North Star, what is sovereign for us as separate individual sovereign beings, what is authentic, what is true. And again, I've been speaking about this in some of my classes this year. 2026, this one universal year, is a really important year for connecting in with our inner Polaris, our inner North Star, our inner compass, and our inner north, and the direction that we are feeling to move, that feels sovereign and feels authentic and feels true. And for me, my inner North Star is always guiding me in the direction of something that I call the House of Love. So the House of Love is a vision that I've had for the last decade. It's a veganic haven and sanctuary for highly sensitive people. It will be laid out on the earth using sacred geometric designs and blueprints. All of the architecture will be sacred geometrically designed. It will be using all natural materials. All of the gardens will be laid out using sacred geometry. We'll be using electroculture. We'll be using biogeometry, all the things. But the House of Love is my North Star, inner North Star, because it is kind of the home of everything that I care about. It is the project that houses, and it will weave into physical 3D reality and manifestation, everything that I care about. It will also be the home of cosmic numerology, for example, and other people that I love and I care about, and that I resonate with, in terms of sharing knowledge, wisdom, teachings, etc. But my inner North Star is always moving me in the direction of co-creating the House of Love, and especially the House of Love in the Byron Shire, because it will be the first House of Love on the planet. And then the vision is for there to be another 12. So there'll be 13 in total, all connected to the fruit of life geometry, which is what Metatron's cube is based on, and created from. And that's my North Star. And, all of us will have different North Stars. Another part of my North Star is around embodying my sovereignty and being a mirror to others, and inspiring others to embody their sovereignty. And another kind of North Star for me is peace. Peace in my body, peace in all relations with all humans, all creatures, great and small, but also peace across all time, space, and dimensions, and doing my best to embody peace and to be as peaceful as I can in how I live, the choices I make, how I conduct myself, which is why I'm also vegan, and organic vegan or veganic, because I don't wish to harm any other creatures or any other beings, especially, in order to sustain myself, or in order to kind of eat food. I'm not saying that's what everyone has to do, but that's my inner compass, and that's what feels authentic to me, and that's what feels important to me. I also have an 11 and a 22 in my blueprint. I'm an 11 personality, which comes from all the consonants in my name, and I'm a 22 life path. And those frequencies are about peace, embodying peace, here on earth, but across time, space, and dimensions, across the cosmos. And with all of that comes the embodiment of the 9 as well. And this is also, I wouldn't say it's my North Star, but it's my practice. It's my daily practice, to do my best to embody as much kindness, compassion, empathy, and understanding towards others. It's not to say that I allow or I condone bad behavior or disrespectful behavior, and the shadow of that is connected to the 8, and I will call that out, and I will put boundaries in place to protect myself and to protect others. But beyond that, especially if people are acting out and are behaving in an unkind way or an abusive way or an aggressive way or a violent way, what the shadow of the 8 has taught me is that the people that act most violently and most aggressively and most abusively are normally the ones that are hurting the most and have experienced a lot of pain and suffering themselves, either in this lifetime and or past lives. And they're the ones that need the most love, the most love. I have learned a lot about the shadow of the 8 because I have experienced a lot of abuse myself. And I've had to do a lot of work on the 8 frequency. And we're going to be, as a collective, experiencing an 8 universal month in a 1 universal year in July. So July will be the 7th month. And when we add that to the 1 universal year, July will hold an 8 universal month frequency. That is going to be an important month for us to be embodying our own personal 1 power 8. It will be a very important month to be embodying more of our empowerment, if that makes sense. And so I've been working on the 8 a lot, especially since my last 8 personal year, which was in 2020. We were in a 4 universal year in 2020, but I was in an 8 personal year. And I feel like I was just being given a lot of opportunities to embody a higher level of mastery of the 8. And I feel like what's happening on the planet right now, what's being mirrored and reflected to us, especially by what's happening with Iran, with Israel, with the US, with Palestine, and then even the war with Russia and the Ukraine. These are the big wars that everyone are aware of. The shadow of the 8 is playing out. And I feel like in order to kind of counteract that or neutralize that or bring more coherence to the planet, we, in this 1 universal year, need to be embodying more and more and more of our own personal empowerment and to be taking more sovereign responsibility for the choices we make, how we live our lives, and how we are using our energy and how and where we are channeling our energy and who we're sharing our energy with, because we can use the 8 frequency and the energies of the 8 to build and create and manifest really, really amazing things, or we can use it destructively. And what we focus on expands. One of my teachers here in this lifetime, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks a lot about, where attention goes, energy flows. And so for me, it's really, really important to be conscious of where we're focusing our attention and our energy. For those of us that just watch the news day in, day out, for those of us that are really focused on all the terrible things that are happening and that catastrophize, you're just going to be creating more and more of that in your reality. Whereas those of us that are focusing more on the reality that we want to create, a more peaceful, unconditionally loving, kind, caring, joyful, happy reality, a more heavenly reality, we're going to be manifesting more of that in our realities, if that makes sense. So let's just see. We've got a question. How do you know that? How can we know based on our birth date? Okay, so our date of birth, when we add our date of birth together, that's how we can calculate our life path number. So, for example, I was born on the 2nd of November, 1980. So the way that you calculate your life path number is you add all of the numbers in your date of birth together separately. So I was born on the 2nd, so we take the 2 of the 11th, we add the 2 to the 1 and the 1, which is 4, 1980. So we add the 4 to the 1 in 1980, which is 5. Then we add the 5 to the 9 in 1980, which is 14. Then we add 14 to 8, and that gives us 22. And then the 0 at the end of 1980, 22 plus 0 is still 22. So that's how you calculate your, it's called your life path number from a numerological perspective. And our life path number is the central theme of our life here on Earth. If our life was a book or a movie or a play, it would be the plot. I also believe, from a cosmic numerological perspective, that the themes that are connected to our life path number are what we're here to master in this lifetime. So as a 22 or a 22/4 life path, I'm here to master the themes of the 2, the 4, and the 22. So I hope that answers your question. So I feel like that's everything that I wish and share to talk about in this transmission today. I hope for those of you that are watching either live or on the recording, that this has been helpful to you. There is information in the description of this in case you want to know more. You can go to my website, which is Cosmic Numerology with a K, cosmicnumerology.com. You can find me, Cosmic Numerology with a K, on Facebook and Instagram as well. Obviously, this is my YouTube channel. If you have liked and enjoyed this, please feel free to like it or comment or share with others. And feel free to subscribe as well to my channel to get notifications whenever I share other videos. But other than that, thanks for watching. I hope this was interesting, helpful, and supportive for you. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with you or seeing you in another live. I do give readings, so all of that information is on my website, via Zoom or in person here in the Byron Shire. And I do teach paid Zoom classes and courses as well. And I'm going to be teaching some classes in person in the Byron Shire, hopefully starting in the next month or so. But yeah, wherever you are on the planet, I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And as always, keep your hearts open, keep choosing love, keep spreading, keep being the love, and keep spreading the love. And I will see you all sometime soon. Thanks for watching. Love and blessings. Bye.